Welcome to the Canterbury Woods. Grab a Bible, check out Matthew 10, starting in verse 40 to the end of the chapter, and then follow me on my round as I look for what Christ is teaching us from this text. We'll remember here that in Matthew 10, the context is about the cost of discipleship. That if we claim the Son, He will claim us before the Father. That we need to fear God and not men. That every earthly relationship should pale in comparison to our love for Christ. And that in return we'll receive fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters. Ultimately, the call of Christ is to claim the shame of the cross, that whoever would lose his life for the sake of Christ will find it. It's in the shadow of the shame of the cross that we find our text today, the promise of Christ to receive His people and to honor those who receive them. Jesus is providing direct comfort to His disciples as they consider what it means to take up their cross and to follow Him. The shame associated with the cross is so very real. And yet He says, anyone who receives you receives me, and whoever receives me receives Him who sent me. So to be not shamed is to be receiving God the Father. To say that more clearly, saying that when someone looks past the shame of the cross that clings to Christians, they receive not only that person, but they receive Christ. And in receiving Christ, they receive God the Father as well. This union with Christ is profound and beautiful. In this text, we're seeing Christ connect receiving a particular person because they're connected with Jesus, with receiving the reward that that person themselves receives. There's a unity between Christ and His people that's really glorious to see. To receive, that is to welcome, to care for, to listen to a prophet or a righteous man or a disciple, is to, in fact, receive the benefits and the reward of a prophet, a righteous man, or a disciple. That when one part of the body rejoices, the whole body rejoices. And when one part of the body is in sorrow, the whole body is sorrowful. To be united with Christ and the shame of the cross is to enjoy the blessings of being united with the people of God. That is such good news. This connection is so profound that even to give a disciple a cup of cold water because he is the disciple of Jesus is to gain a reward that cannot be lost. We also have to see here too that the key reason these people are being received is because of their relationship to God. It's a cup of cold water because He is my disciple. That increases our confidence in what Christ is saying. For those who truly understood what Christ was calling for when He said, "Take up your cross and follow me," they can be comforted to know that Christ says that those who receive them will also be rewarded. There'll be a motivation for others to overlook that shame because they're disciples of Jesus Christ. So yes, there is a cost to following Christ, to taking up your instrument of shame and death and following Him. But the reward in being united to Christ is even greater. To receive or to be received because of our relationship with Christ grants us the joy of being a disciple, the reward for being a disciple of Christ as well. Christ is so very good here in that he knows how to comfort his saints. He tells us that yes, there'll be persecutions, and you should fear God and not man. And while discipleship might cost you family, we also know that it gives you a family, and that because we're united with Christ, we can be confident that those who receive us are also receiving Christ, and those who reject Christ are rejecting us. That union with Christ is beautiful. My hope today is that we would be comforted in Christ, and to know that our union with him means that those who receive us are receiving Christ. I hope we'd also be motivated to love other saints in the church, because to love and receive them is to share in their reward. So let's rejoice in Christ and our union with him. Let's meditate on his word and his promises to us. And I hope you'll join me again next time.